Good morning, boys and girls. Here we are in week 10 already. The term has certainly flown by. I hope you're getting stuck into your work this morning and that you've had a good start to the week. Our book reading today, or this morning, is Toby by Margaret and Noela Young. Toby is a beautiful book, and I was actually given this book for my 12th birthday, so it has been around for a very long time. But I know we've got it in our school library, and it is on the Premier's Reading Challenge list. So if you're looking to log this book, I did have it written down, but I've just lost my piece of paper. The code is 8951. And I should also say good morning to our friends again this morning. Blinky, he's come along. Blinky, Bill and Nutsy. Hello, you two. Thank you for always coming with me. And Eric and Wally, they're just doing some other things today. But I do have some friends I found. I thought perhaps this could be Toby when he was a little pup. He's so soft and cuddly. And maybe this is Toby as he gets older. And he's also really lovely. Two lovely dogs. Do you have soft toys at home? They're nice to cuddle, especially on cold and foggy mornings like we have today. All right, Toby. There's a picture of a tennis ball by the looks with some flowers. Margaret has written many, many books, children's books. I'm sure you would know her name. Okay. My big sister Sarah is nearly 12 and our dog Toby is 14. That's pretty old for a dog. My little brother Ben wants him to live until he's 30 and then he'll be in the Guinness Book of Records. You'll be famous, he tells Toby. Famous. Toby is really Sarah's dog. Mum says that when Sarah was a baby, she sat on Toby and climbed all over him and pulled his ears and dressed him up and fell asleep next to him. When Sarah started school, Toby followed her every day and waited by the gate until home time. Isn't Sarah a beautiful little girl down there, loving her dog? Do you have a dog at home that you love like Toby? And every Saturday, Sarah took Toby to the park and they whizzed faster, faster on the roundabout. Then Sarah threw the tennis ball again and again, and Toby kept bringing it back, all drippy with spit, until they were both so tired they just flopped on the grass and looked up at the sky. It's nice to watch the clouds go by, isn't it, and see what shapes the clouds are making. Nice and relaxing. But Toby doesn't wait for Sarah at the school gate anymore. He doesn't go for walks, and he just blinks his eyes when she throws the ball and says, "Fetch, boy, fetch." Sarah hurls the ball into the bushes and screams with tears in her eyes, "What's the matter with you, you stupid old dog?" Oh dear. Poor Toby. Sometimes Marie from next door looks over the fence at Toby. They have been friends for years. She says very loudly, "That dog is old and sick. You should take him to the vet." Toby heaves himself up and wags his tail. He barks cheekily at Marie and brings us the tennis ball. "Good," says Marie. "There's life in the old dog yet." And she goes back to taking the washing off the line. But Toby doesn't stay perky for long. We all know he's old and sick. He's also a bit blind and a bit deaf, and he often makes such bad smells that everyone shouts and yells for the window. Of course we forgive him, all of us except Sarah. She walks around with her hand over her nose. And when Toby puts his head on her knee, she pushes him off and says, "You're old and smelly. Go away." She stares at Toby with angry, sad eyes, then jumps up and goes to her bedroom and slams the door. Poor Toby, makes me so sad. Ben is furious. "I hate Sarah," he says. "Why is she so mean to Toby? He can't help being old and smelly." Mum tries to explain. She says, "Everything is changing for Sarah. Next year she starts high school, and that means catching 2 buses and making new friends." "So," says Ben, he wouldn't care if he had to go to a different school and catch a zillion buses and make loads of new friends. Mum tries to explain a bit more. Her body's changing. She's growing up, and she's not sure she likes it. "So," says Ben again, "I know he wishes his body would grow up. If he had muscles and a moustache, no one would be able to push him around." "So," says Mum, "Sarah doesn't want anything else to change. She doesn't want Toby to get old and die. She wants him to stay just the way he always was. She still loves him, you know." "Huh," says Ben. "Huh, and I know just how he feels." So Ben and I look after Toby. We feed him and bath him and swat away the flies. And on Saturdays we put him in the old baby pram and take him for a walk to the park. Toby is so weak now, he can hardly move. On Tuesday, when Marie put her head over the fence and said as usual, "That dog is old and sick. You should take him to the vet," he just shut his eyes and went back to sleep. Marie was so upset that she forgot to take in her washing, and it got rained on during the night. Oh dear. When the vet came to see Toby, he said, "Toby is very sick and he's in pain. He can't get better. It would be kind to put him to sleep tomorrow." "Good," said Sarah, and she stormed up the stairs, and she wouldn't come down for tea. Ben and I hugged that smelly old dog and said goodbye. I told him we'd bury him in the garden with his chewed old tennis balls so that he'd always remember us and our place. We knocked on Sarah's door, but she wouldn't answer. "I hate her," said Ben, and he banged on the door until Sarah shouted at him to leave her alone. Sounds awful. In the middle of the night, Ben's crying woke me up. "Put on your dressing gown," I said. "We'll go and stay with Toby until the morning." We switched on the light in the landing and tiptoed down the stairs. But Toby already had company. Can you think who it might be? I guess Mum was right, and Sarah did still love him after all. How lovely. Toby's buried with the tennis balls in the back garden under the wattle tree. Sometimes Ben and I bat a ball to each other, and when it rolls into the bushes, Sarah looks up from her book with a faraway smile and says very softly, "Fetch, boy, fetch." And that's the same picture again that was at the start of the book. Isn't that a beautiful book? Toby by Margaret Wild and Noela Young. What did you think of that, Blinky and Nutsy? Makes me want to cry sometimes. It's so lovely. Especially if you've had a dog that you love so much. I think you can remember those feelings that you've had if you've lost that dog or you've been away from it for a while. Dogs are very precious parts of our family sometimes. All right, boys and girls, work hard for the rest of the day and I'll see you later on. Bye.